Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Final Fantasy IX because today is the 25th anniversary and a lot of people were expecting the announcement of the long-rumored, often leaked FF9 Remake. And it turns out that instead we're getting rumblings that the project may have been cancelled. Square Enix may have just smothered it. And I'm pissed about this for the obvious reason that everybody would be pissed, but also I'm kind of just shocked about how a game as good as FF9 could get canceled. I mean, the remake seems like such a safe bet. Now, in case you never played Final Fantasy IX, this is a very important and very, very good game. The creator of Final Fantasy, his name is Hironobu Sakaguchi, and this was the last game that he directly worked on. He basically made a lot of the early games as a producer, a director, a writer, and this was the last one he did before he left Square Enix. It definitely has that fingerprints, that love, that very unique taste of early Square Enix that we never really fully got back to. So a couple of years ago, there was this thing called the NVIDIA leak, where essentially there was this accidental master list of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of unreleased games. And everything on that list slowly got revealed to be true. Things like Kingdom Hearts 4, the Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered, even random stuff from other companies like weird ports, or even things like the Tomb Raider collection. So the NVIDIA leak has been, up until now, 100% accurate. But now we may see the first game on that list that got canceled before it could be released. But let's talk. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, today is technically the anniversary, the 25th anniversary, but it started last night. Obviously, when it comes to a lot of big Japanese announcements, as soon as it clicks past midnight, which is about 7 or 8 p.m. my time here, a lot of times they immediately start revealing stuff. They go, hey, it's the day, here's a remake or a celebration or a new trailer. And instead, they just posted stuff being like, hey, here it is. Here's our announcement. Commemorative video, which is basically just cutscenes from the original game. 70% off. Fan art project, Vivi picture book, merch, and calendar. Like, this is it. This is the actual, if you go to FinalFantasy.com itself and go to the Final Fantasy IX tab, this is what you get. Now, I'll admit that I actually think this new art is great. I do think this picture book is great. I'm obsessed with Vivi the same way everybody else is, but this new art, these new figurines, this seems odd because historically, Final Fantasy hasn't done these countdowns typically. Normally, they'll hype stuff out. They say, hey, it's the anniversary of this game or that game, but usually it's just a one-off tweet. Usually it's like, hey, today we're talking about the best villains, and it's got somebody from like Final Fantasy XII. But this entire week, they've been doing a countdown today, leading up to this, including these new illustrations from the original artist. And everybody was like, bro, oh God, look at this. Some cool stuff here. Here's to 25 years. Remake news, there's nothing. Everybody is literally like, can we celebrate the remake, or can we celebrate the anniversary with a remake? Still edging us. So the reason this might be possible is that there is some rumors from NateTheHate, obviously one of the best leakers in the business, where he said that according to him, it could have been canceled. His exact quote is, the last time I checked, it did remain in development, to my knowledge, but I need to do a fresh check and see what more about the current status. I did hear a month or so ago that it was in trouble and possibly canceled. I had one source on cancellation possibility, and I need to verify further. Now, all the comments here on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors are like, bro, just, I can't even imagine it. And here was my favorite comment I really wanted to highlight. How do you let, I'm assuming, a straightforward remake unlike FF7 that will sell millions and millions of games, how do you let this get stuck in development hell? Now, the talk from the leaks and rumors about this project is that this was supposed to be much tinier than the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Instead of making it a stretched out trilogy with new side quests and extra cutscenes and new voice actors and stuff, the talk was that it was going to be about 80% the same game. Same style of dialogue, same writing, same story, but with better graphics, newer, updated textures and stuff, and full voice acting. And I was actually excited about that. I think the original charm of FF9 is very much the fact that it has almost this storybook vibe to it. That even though the story itself is so dark as it is about wars and explosions and just ripping families apart and stuff like that, it has this cutesy art. I always thought that dynamic, that dichotomy in a way was so interesting. So the fact that it might have been canceled, even though it is maybe 1/10 the budget of the FF7 remake, it's bonkers. Now, I wanted to have this tweet real quick because this is something that came up yesterday, and I promise it's on topic, which is the fact that Romero Games said that what happened is he went and met them, and they talked to him about the game, and the next day they shut down his studio. This just shows the fact that there is these weird instantaneous shutterings that keep happening, where you're working on a game, it's going great, everything's fine, and then they just shut it down. Somebody at the top says, hey, this is not profitable enough, it's not positive enough, the internal testing is not good, just shut it down, we'll do a tax write-off. I'm afraid because Square Enix last year did vaguely talk publicly about a series of canceled projects. Now, when they phrased it at the time, they said, most of these are from our mobile divisions. Now, they didn't say all, but they basically said we've canceled, I think they said $200 million of development stuff. And a lot of people at the time were afraid about if that was the FF9 remake. Now, the rumor is that it wasn't, because that was $200 million of internal projects, and this might be an external project. One of the talks is that originally, because right now Square Enix is apparently very much full steam ahead on finishing the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, and also, of course, very, very hard at work on Kingdom Hearts 4. So that makes sense. Both the projects going to be big, going to be expensive, but the talk was that they had an external studio that they definitely trusted working on this Final Fantasy IX remake. That because it didn't need, a full team of writers and stuff like that, they were like, all right, this other team can handle it, and we'll just keep a close eye on it. It sounds like if these $200 million in cancellations happened, a lot of people went, okay, well, if it's an external studio, then the project could be extra safe. If they canned this remake, if they canceled it, I'm going to be pissed just because, honestly, this would have been the best game ever. And also, I do see a lot of people talk about the fact that, honestly, yeah, this comment right here. It seems like Square Enix is so bad about just doing stuff. Why did it take 3 years for them to remaster Final Fantasy Tactics, and all the game does have is voice acting and some very ugly smoothing filters? A remake of Final Fantasy IX would take more care, time, attention. It would take a lot more budget. And a lot of people here are saying, bro, if they canceled this, it's definitely the bleakest news of the year. I don't know. I'm rambling. It's the 25th anniversary. Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite games of all time. I even got big paintings of it and stuff around my office, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about the Final Fantasy IX remake? And how do you feel about the rumors that it's been canned? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. I just woke up. This video's a bit too rambly. Oh well. Hi. I love you. All right. Time to wake up. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.